up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Anata Pod. You like that?
Love that. It's
I'm
great.
practicing. I'm practicing. All right. So today we've got a couple of interesting things. We're going international a little bit. Gabe, go ahead and lead us off on this first story for today.
Yeah, it's really Meta quietly raised our CAC. David, what's CAC mean?
Oh, I don't know, but I do have a
Customer
fun
acquisition
game.
cost.
If you don't
Gotcha.
know, listen to the last podcast. But I do have a cool game for us to play when we're done. And I've already
Okay.
showed it to you when you came over to my house yesterday,
Right. Right. Yeah.
but it's a fun game. Okay,
Yeah,
go
that'd be
for it.
exciting. Yeah, I'll kind of explain a little bit more into Meta. Um, but it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. So Meta announced that they're adding location fees. I think that's the important part, location fees to ads served in several countries. Across what is it, like Europe and just the UK, right? I think it's only between 2 and 5%. But advertisers don't actually get to see what's inside or get to see it inside their ads manager, which can kind of feel a little sneaky. And so I guess yeah, just paying attention to that. I mean, is there anything else that you would kind of add to that?
No, that's the biggest one. A lot of our clients don't do international, but we do have some of them who are international clients, started their business overseas, some of them in Asia, some of them in Europe, right? And so usually you check the bill out and you say, hey, look, there's a 2 to 5% fee on my PPC charges. And then this case, you're not going to see that. You're just going to see that your PPC charges are going to be 2 to 5% up. So just some action items for those who are dealing with this or are in, I think it's like Turkey, EU, Spain, those countries. I have a list right here. I don't know why I'm acting like I don't. Austria, Turkey, 5%, France, Italy, and Spain, 3%, and the UK, 2%. So if you're in those markets, now this interesting thing is we do have customers in Turkey and operate out of Austria as well. I don't have anything in France and Italy. I do have a client in Spain and then some clients in the UK, obviously. There's a big market there. But what's happening is they're not going to see that fee. So just make sure you adjust your targets. If you're going to be missing your targets by 2 to 5%, well, don't, because there's nothing you can do about it. So go ahead and adjust your targets to increase those by 2 to 5% in your customer acquisition, because they're going to do that. Or if you find ways to be more efficient and you think it's going to drive your business the right direction by seeing this increase, and now you're just going to have to try a little harder, go for it too. But let's just be aware of the situation and not let it fly. So yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thanks. I think this next story is pretty interesting as well. It's really about like Walmart making diversification easier. I know in our was it our last episode or a couple episodes ago we talked about like Meta and how really brands use like Meta as their main just primary. It's like 60%, I'm pretty sure. But
Mhm.
Walmart rolled out something pretty cool. They rolled out their AI assistant for advertisers, Marty, which
Marty and Sparky. There's
and
two of
Sparky,
them.
which is just
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool.
Marty.
I'll be honest with you. I think that's a cool name. I
I should
like
have
it.
said a Wally. That's probably taken. And Marty,
Right. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Wally might have some issues with Disney, but come on, Wally World. We all
Makes
know
more
what
sense.
that is,
Yes.
right? Exactly.
Exactly.
So who's Sparky? Who's Marty? You know who they
Um.
are?
Actually, I have no idea. Like from what I read, I think the primary like campaign like builder isn't it Marty?
The Marty is the shopper. So when you're online, you know how you
Oh,
have like a shop with Alexa on Amazon.
yes.
Marty is going to be the shop with Marty. So they just rolled out
Gotcha.
their version of that. And
Gotcha.
Sparky, the way I remember it, is Spark Ads is a TikTok thing, but it's not TikTok. Sparky is the campaign manager, which I really like
Gotcha.
how they rolled that out. I haven't tested it out yet, but I would like to see what it's like. So
We have from reports,
apparently,
right? Builds
mhm,
campaigns, suggests
right.
bids, recommends keywords. So
Yeah,
Or at
all
least
off
it's
of just natural language too. So
right.
you just talk to it, hey, I have this campaign, it's not targeting these keywords, what should I do? And it just does it for you. So
Yeah,
it's almost like having your advertising assistant on the platform,
right.
which anything to lower the barrier is great, but Walmart's problem isn't necessarily a low barrier. It's just like market size, right? Well, how much am
Yeah,
I going to actually get? It's still roughly 10%, even though they've been at it for years now. They're still trying to capture as much market share as possible, but their online shopping for the instances like these are not. I still haven't read anything where, if you're killing it online or you're actually participating online, it gets you a seat at the table with a buyer. And that's what most people want, right? We do have a couple of clients that are in the Walmart marketplace, and it's gold. And once you're in there, they will be willing to kick you out if you don't succeed. But once you're in there, it's super successful. Usually, they usually
yeah,
do a really good job. So um, once that opens up, then yeah, everybody will be on the platform if you give them a
yes,
chance. So
right.
yeah.
Well, hey, I think I see something cool, or at least something that we can call out too. If you want to plug in a not intelligence just super quickly, because yeah, I mean, what you've built, what you've been doing inside there with even our clients and accounts that we manage, we're able to set targets. We're able to have an ongoing automation for our ads. It's pretty neat and pretty cool, and I think can really take a storm over a lot of things. So yeah,
Mhm.
you wanna plug it out really quick?
Yeah, no, our advertising strategy here has been super successful. We've been able to find a lot of wasted spend and take action. Now, one thing that we're seeing with the competitive landscape with AI and e-com advertising, especially on Amazon, Walmart, even Meta, is that it could find the holes, but it can't fill the growth, right? And so what we're trying to achieve is what and where can we spend? It's easy to say, oh, this is waste, cut, 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 cut. Next minute, your ad spend efficiency is really good, but you're not actually acquiring customers. So it's not really good at leveling out winning and losing keywords. It's just losing keywords, cut them out, but spend on more winning keywords. And I've found that in our testing, and we've tested a bunch of different of our competitors, just trying to see how we, go against them in the market. But one thing that we're really pushing is like, yeah, we actually see a lot of success outlining all the campaigns you need to succeed and how those campaigns work with each other. How do they
Yes.
harvest with one another? How do we get some of these different levels based on what your product needs are? And so, if your product needs is in a launch phase, then we need to be aggressive. But your whole account shouldn't be in a launch phase, right? In a launch phase, you need X, Y, and Z campaigns. You need to be segmenting those campaigns by target groups, branded, non-branded keywords, and winning keywords. We just rolled out a new system here because we've done some testing manually where we'll start with a really, really low CPC. And you've probably read some of these online with other consumers, but implementing this automatically across all of your products is massive. So basically, as you start a new campaign, it has a segment of different targets, and you're putting the low at the bid at 15 cents. But you're putting the multiplier over at 900%, which is a maximum that Amazon allows. What that does is it allows you, it gives you that flexibility to spend so much more, even if you're a bid up only, or excuse me, a bid down only at that multiplier, it still allows you to go and increase that. So then our automation will say, you know what, 15 cents, we're winning. Let's actually increase that by 20 cent to 20 cents at 900%. And because we're winning so much, and it allows you to get the maximum, I should say, the minimum CPC while still winning. And CPCs across the board are ridiculous. Some of our campaigns have just doubled in the last month alone. And I'm like, oh man, how do we succeed in this? So our system has been super successful in finding those holes and allowing you to still scale and grow and make sure you're winning in the space. So I would love to like plug that in all day, every day. If you guys are looking to just test it and see how it is, schedule a call with us. We'll get you on a free trial. You can test this into your systems and your workflows, and then we can hopefully see your account scale too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Similar to the last episode, there was a link in the description, but I'll make sure that we also talk about that in the video. So
cool.
what David was talking about, it will be in the description. So go check it out. Thank you. Okay, last story, and then we can move on to our theme, David. This story actually was pretty fascinating as well. It's founder buybacks. Goodness. Yeah, so founders are literally trying to buy back companies that they've sold. Um, and I've kind of read this too, or as I was going through the story, I read this too. At the same time, strategic buyers are paying billions for great brands. So why are these things both happening? It's like
Yeah,
founders
I've
trying
got a
to
couple of
buy and sell. Yeah.
no, I've got a couple of theories on that one. One is like a founder sold a company, then they rebuilt this company, a new company, right? But when they sold the previous company, my assumption is they sold it when they didn't have AI, when they did it and the costs were so high, a lot of manual labor, a lot of insights, a lot of paying for softwares that you needed to have. And now they started at another company. And they're like, well, this company operates with a third of our operating cost as before. So now they're like, you know what? That company still operates in the old way. What if I can grab it back for a steal, knowing that I can implement these strategies, increase our EBITDA, and then sell it for 10x because things are
Yes.
stupid these days and they sell for way more. Not to say it's not worth it, but it's kind of ridiculous. We're playing with funny money these days. It's kind of funny how this works. But how would I do that from a strategic standpoint? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because you know and have built, and I love that's why I love working with founders because they are there to find and operate as efficiently and smoothly as possible. And these guys are only spending billions of dollars because they know that they have scalability with it, right?
Yeah.
They know what they know, but they don't know what they don't know. So they didn't know that AI was going to be able to do these things that we're doing right now to incorporate that. So that's a
Yeah.
huge factor for sure. It's just like, hey, you know what? How do we get these insights overall? How do we make sure that I can increase the value of my company and maybe buy back, scale it, and sell it again? Right. And another theory that I have is that these founders have a lot of love for those initial brands that they started and sold.
Yes.
And so there might still be an emotional connection between them and those other brands. And they're just trying to get it back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you think like ownership is it seems like to me maybe ownership what may I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but it seems like ownership is valuable again. It's kind of what I'm kind of seeing. Like a few years ago, everyone rewarded growth, but now it's like buyers rewarding durable businesses and asking like, can customers come back? Can you raise prices? And can the business survive if advertising gets harder? And I think
Yeah.
a lot of people ask like, hey, will this be a great business, 5 years from now? And I think oftentimes, and maybe this doesn't relate at all, I like see videos all the times of like, people evaluated, individuals evaluated at like $1 million. Right? So like millionaires, billionaires, and they're like, oh,
Right.
if you're getting into business, go get like an HVAC company, go buy it, and then do social media and just grow the business and like implement um, new ways to yeah advertise, get on TikTok, get on all these
Acquire
platforms.
customers.
Yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, so yeah, that's kind of like my 2 cents. I think growth still matters. So, but quality of growth matters a lot more. But
Right.
let's get into our main topic, which is building a business buyers actually want. And so, David, let's say someone listening never plans to sell their business. Why would they even care about valuation?
That's a good point. If I would never want to sell, my business, which, we never intended to, but it's also a really good measure of your own success, right? And
Yeah.
so, how else are you going to measure success against competitors? That's a universal measurement. And I just said it earlier in the pod, we're kind of playing with funny money these days. So it's hard to take it too serious. But yeah, potentially there's some interest in like measuring against those who are to the same measuring stick, right? And so at least you can compare directly of what they're doing, how you're doing. The true measurement, in my opinion, is are you achieving your goals? Is it doing what you need it to do? Great, right? Then you're succeeding. But if you're potentially thinking about offloading the brand, exiting at a maximum potential, then yeah, you should probably be aware of these things and understanding it, understanding your CAC, understanding your efficiency, etc. Those are super, super important. So
Yeah,
that's one reason.
yeah. Just like we discussed. Again, I don't think like buyers are buying your past. They're buying what they think happens next.
Right.
Right? Is
Exactly.
that pretty fair?
Mm.
Okay. Well, my next discussion point is retention. Why does everybody obsess over new customers?
New customers usually is a signal of growth, how fast you're growing, right? New customers though isn't retention, but it is a signal of how fast you can grow. So I think that's a big reason why. If you
Okay,
could, yeah, new customer growth is fast, then you're not just banking off what's there, then that's a huge factor in your evaluation for sure.
right. Okay, so now similar question, kind of same thing. This is with the retention, but why does everybody obsess over new customers when buyers care so much about existing ones?
Ask that question again one more time.
Yeah, why does everybody obsess over new customers when buyers care so much about existing ones?
Buyers meaning your customers. I mean,
So no, no, so
when you're
the
exiting.
yeah, like so building a business, buyers actually want so similar to like our story three, yeah, had founders wanting to buy back their companies that they sold, or just in general, like people looking to buy companies. Why? Yeah, because I feel like we in the Amazon space, kind of like, hey, we want more people that are our new customers to our subscription, our subscribe and save, but we also care about people coming back, right? So I think that's the retention that we want to talk about.
No, you're 100% right. So you're talking about two things. One, customer
Yes.
acquisition, CAC, and two, LTV, lifetime value. And so lifetime value only happens in the lifetime of a customer, right? So can you grow your business and can they sustain growth? So the subscription world, I mean, we've got a subscription agency just downstairs, right? Matt Holman, shout out to him. He
Yes.
runs an analysis on how you can get people to subscribe, usually on their first purchase, right? And then once you get them to subscribe because you got them on the price point, 10%, you got them on the intake, they get a free gift with purchase bottle, you got that all down. But the next step is, well, how do I actually get them to keep buying and stay on that subscription? One thing that we just read earlier in this article is community. Community is the number one thing that people are looking at right now. Community is your email list, how to engage. It's your social channels, unowned, but social channels, right? Community is those who are going to be committed to buying your product. And the biggest reason why community exists is because they will advocate for you. They will advocate that this is the product that I buy. And they're like, hey, what body soap do you use? Gabe, what body wash do you use?
I don't know if I want to plug them in here.
All right, that's fine. You don't have to plug them in there. It's women's body wash. That's what he
Stop,
uses.
stop.
It's
It's my
not,
mom's
but
body
you.
wash. No, wait, wait.
It's it's just what they would advocate for, and so that's what's so important. Is like the current customer base right now is just is just basically like who do you have? Why do you like them? And then they're the biggest advocate for you. So that's why it's so important.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I'm gonna take it at a different angle. It's pretty much the same, but at least because as I've been using anata intelligence and I've been really hyper focused on advertising for our clients and the way we utilize anata intelligence to help with advertising for our clients, I think repeat customers would lower our dependence on paid advertising. So we're not stressing about how much we're spending. Because if customers naturally just come back, your marketing becomes dramatically more efficient. And I think that's retention compounds. So
Right.
yeah, I think that's the healthiest metric for founders to obsess over. So that's kind of like what I wanted to add in there. Hopefully that made sense to everybody listening. But let's move on to pricing power. Um, pricing power. I read over the 20% example. Do you remember that? Do you remember reading about that? And if do you want to kind of touch on that?
I don't remember reading over that one. Sorry, I must have missed that
No, no
one.
worries. So it's like a competitor copies your product tomorrow and sold it 20% cheaper. Like, would your customers stay? It's kind of like that story. And maybe, do you want to touch on that? Do you think they would stay?
Yeah, I see. And that goes back to the community part, right? They're getting something that they
Yes.
don't get. Are you a commodity where I'm just going to go to the store and buy the cheapest one possible? Or are you, a commodity with a logo is what that's stated? Or are you providing something else, right? Because you will always get a competitor that jumps in and sells your product at a cheaper price
Yes.
somehow,
Yes.
right? They sell it at a cheaper price. There's pros and cons to it. If you're like, well, yeah, but I off, and then they just go them, then you're a commodity product, right? Then it's basically a race to efficiency, and you can add a little bit of brand in there, right? Your logo. But why do people go and buy Spanx versus the commodity? Or why do people go
Yes.
buy, and I'm thinking of this because one of our clients skims over another one. Why? They follow Kim Kardashian, right? And then
Yes. Yes.
they're rolling out men's products. And who buys men's underwear more than men? It's their spouses. I know this. So it's like they'll go and do that because, oh, that's cute. I can just go two for one. And now my husband has cute underwear. So it's just like how that works out. So, anyways, the big piece here is like, are you selling a commodity? And you got to understand if you are or not, right? You're not going to just be like, oh no, I have a perfect product and it's a fidget spinner. And it's like, no, that's a toy and everybody buys the cheapest one, right? But I have seen some people who come out with fidget spinners and it's not a commodity. It is the brand, right? They come out with something
Yes.
unique. It's titanium. Now we're talking about like your carry, right? And because there's a whole world there that exists. So there's a balance where you could sell a commodity product, but have an actual brand where they will stick with you. You don't have that community if they won't stick with you. So yeah.
Yes. 100%. Um, Nothing much to add on there. I think, okay, so the last thing, and this will be short, is just kind of ties everything back together, is diversification. Um, I think as we look at it, like Meta gets more expensive, Amazon changes fees, Google updates their algorithm, and it just seems like platforms always change. So it just seems like as you're building a business, it's like not just using one platform. Is that kind of true? Would you suggest that?
Yeah, it's not anymore. It's super hard. I just got off a call before this pod, and we're talking about our media mix, and our media mix right now contains two channels. It contains Amazon and Meta. And I'm thinking, hey guys, we need to increase these and diversify a little bit. They're not sending any emails, right? There's like so much that could be happening here, and that's just not happening. And so I wanted to just tell them like, hey, I need TikTok. I don't need TikTok ads. I need TikTok on social channels too, and I need advocates for those channels, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like you do need to now more than ever. It's like, oh, there's more. You're forced to do a lot more, but in the same breath, we're talking about how AI has allowed you to do all of those things.
Yes.
Um, and you don't have to waste so much time learning it. You can actually engage. You can get programs like Anata Intelligence Platform and our platform will help manage a lot of those things. Help manage your
Yeah.
content, help manage the voice of the customer. It goes through all of those things. It's like, okay, there's so many tools out there right now for you to get those. And we call it internally, we call it like an automated agency where we now are building our own tools that we used to have to pay for, and now it's in our system and it communicates with it. It's more automated than ever. So that's why I think it's a good time to like go and force yourself to learn those things.
Yes. Yes. Totally agree. I don't think, like, I think the companies will win won't necessarily have like the best ads, but I think the businesses that will win will just really have the best understanding of their business, know their numbers, know their customer relationships, and really just aren't dependent upon like one platform. So kind of my two thoughts.
Good.
But yeah, that's all I had for you, David.
Nice. No, I appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for listening today. This was a good banter. I like it.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, and we will catch you guys in